Here's what the president said today when asked what he and the White House can do after OPEC Plus decided to cut oil production by 2 million barrels a day.
There's a lot of alternatives. We haven't made up our mind yet.
So what are those alternatives?
First, you need to understand the president doesn't have a magic wand. He can't say gas prices will be $2 a gallon today because I say so. That's not how global markets work. And generally, there's not a lot a president can do to control actual gas prices. That said, there are some options that are on the table here in the U.S. One, the president has said he plans to work with Congress. That's one of the options. But what can Congress do to foreign countries, like the oil-producing countries known as OPEC Plus, that control more than 40% of the world's oil production? Well, there are several pieces of legislation that have been moving through Congress. There's a bipartisan bill called NOPEC that has been circulating for years. NOPEC stands for No Oil Producing and Exporting Cartels Act. This bipartisan bill would tweak U.S. antitrust laws and allow the Attorney General to sue members of OPEC Plus, like Saudi Arabia, in federal court for orchestrating and manipulating global crude oil prices, though that could lead to blowback on a lot of different levels. There's a bill that would give the U.S. Trade Representative the power to initiate a dispute against OPEC Plus at the World Trade Organization, and some lawmakers have even suggested the United States could pull back on the sale of our military equipment to certain OPEC countries, again, like Saudi Arabia. Of course, there's geopolitical downsides to every single one of those options. Another option is continuing to release oil from the United States Strategic Petroleum Reserve. I've been telling you for the last 6 months. The president ordered 1 million barrels a day released from the SPR to help regulate the cost of gasoline. That has helped some in keeping the gas prices down, but that million-barrel-a-day release is set to stop at the end of this month. Now, the White House is committed to releasing another 10 million barrels in November, but the president could continue to release reserve oil to offset some of these OPEC Plus cuts. And the last option is one that U.S. oil companies do not like. The White House is considering limiting the amount of refined oil products like gasoline and diesel that U.S. oil companies can export. In case you didn't know, U.S. oil producers don't just sell U.S. crude oil and oil-related products to America. Those products go to the highest bidder on the global market. The oil industry says banning or limiting those exports would actually backfire and hurt American consumers at the gas pump. Now, according to the U.S. Energy Information Agency, the U.S. has the refining capacity of more than 18 million barrels of crude oil per day and exports an average of more than 3.5 million barrels per day of several petroleum products, including gasoline.